So you do still have 4 swears left in your pot. So I don't know if you want to get them out right off the bat, or what do you think?
Oh man, our connection is not great right now.
Okay, hang on.
Is that John on your side?
I'm gonna hang up on you, and then I'll call you back. Oh yeah, that's better.
That's much better.
Okay. So the connection there was a lot like the connection between the Canucks players tonight.
Yeah. And their brains,
like they just stopped working.
Their ability to play hockey whatsoever. This team is lacking in identity. The lack of pushback in the second period when they came out and got one early was really frustrating. And that falls on coaching. You got to call a timeout and regroup your troops and get things going in the right direction. And I just don't know. I don't know what Talkett's doing to get these guys motivated, but that was start of the game came out flat. Start of the second period came out flat, gave up a goal in the first minute and a half. Start of the third period came out flat, gave up a goal in the first 30 seconds. That can't happen. And I don't know why it's happening, but between coaching and management, they got to figure it out.
I don't wish sickness on anyone, but I'm praying that this is the result of there being a sickness amongst the Canucks players, because that's how bad they look. They look like they all have like the worst kind of COVID you can get. Like how far into the Greek alphabet did we get? Like Omega, or like maybe they have multiple versions of it, because they had 4 shots in the first. They actually had 12 shots in the seconds, but they also got scored on early in the second period again. And then in the third period, when you're trailing, they let another goal in right off the bat. And then they only get 4 shots overall in the entire period. Even when a Boston team is clearly not even trying to score anymore, they put their 4th line out there for the last power play, and the Canucks still can't get any more shots. They end up with just 20 shots for the game, which probably seems like more than they actually deserve.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what I'm saying is that where's the pushback? Where are our top scorers? Where's the fire? Where's the want to push it into their end and the creativity to generate some offense? There's nothing. Where's someone throwing a big hit? It's like starting a fight, getting some fire going. There's none of that. Like last year we had far more times where we had someone go out there and throw a big hit, or we had a line go out there and just hold the offense in the offensive zone and just get chance after chance after chance and just make the opposing team wear down. And we just have not seen that this year. Against Florida, we had a good game where we got 4 goals and we were able to sit back and just play defense. But we can't do that every game in the NHL. We got to freaking score goals. And if we're not going to shoot the puck, we're never going to score.
I was yelling at Quinn Hughes for the first time this season. How many shots got blocked that Quinn Hughes took? Like how many shots? Like it had to be more shots got blocked than he actually got through the net tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the Boston blocked 23 of our shot attempts. So, that's just not good enough. I don't get it. You watch other teams get tons of shots through, and it's just it makes you scratch your head. And and for me, because I watch a lot of hockey, it's coaching. Either we're being overcoached or we're being undercoached, and it's I don't know what it is, but we hate shooting the puck. Like we refuse to shoot it in if we're in a certain spot, and I don't know if we'll get benched if we do or what, but like we need some excitement and creativity back in our offense. It's real stale and easy to defend against.
I have 3 major concerns about the Canucks. The first one we've already talked about. They can't get shots through, right? And you have to figure it out. Like I don't know if they're trying to pick the corner or what they're doing, but the angles are all off. They're shooting into shin pads, they're shooting into sticks. And yes, Boston is a team that can defend shots, but their rush through center ice is terrible. And their forecheck is non-existent. Like I felt like tonight I saw so many times where even like when you think there's like a couple players in on the forecheck, they don't even get there in time. And then what was Suter doing? It's a delayed penalty, and he just gives the puck away. You could have killed more of the penalty. Like that's just a straight up brain fart from a player that generally is one of the smartest guys on the team. If you have control of the puck, you let the time wind down. You even get some 5-on-5 time, maybe get a chance. But instead, he skates the center ice and just flips it down the ice.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know. It's just not everyone's brain was working tonight, and maybe a lot of them are sick. God, I hope that's what's happening, because to go from the Florida game, which was a complete solid team game, 60 minutes, to this is alarming. It's alarming. I don't know that this is sustainable. There will be some decisions to be made for sure by the head office. I'd be interested to see the interview after hours here coming up with Rutherford and Scott Oak. I'm sure he will have some choice words to say, and I'm sure he will have to be quite careful with what he says. After a loss like this, you will obviously be emotional. But yeah, I really am at a loss for words, given that we were just talking 2 days ago about how great the team had played.
Well, you look at Pettersson was invisible. DeBrusque was invisible. Even Sherwood, he probably had a bunch of hits. You didn't really notice him anyways. That whole line was completely vacant from this game. And that's a line that we saw a lot from in the last game, right? JT Miller set up Sasson for his first goal. I'm so stoked to see Sasson finally get his first goal because that man works so hard out there. But it's in a game where they lose 5-1 anyway. So even calling it, like I love to call a first goal and be excited about it, but I had to pretend that I was excited that Sasson scored, even though it's his first goal of the game.
Yeah. No, exactly. And this is Petey's second game in a row where he hasn't really showed up. And it bothers me in the sense that if there really is, and we're not here to start rumors or say anything negative, or we're not in the locker room, so we don't know what goes on. But if there really is an issue between JT Miller and Elias Pettersson, something needs to be done. Like someone needs to be moved, and it needs to happen quickly, because you are not getting the best out of either player right now, and you never will if their personalities are that far apart. But they thrived just fine under Boudreau, and they were able to do their offensive thing. They were fine last year under Tocchet, so I don't understand what changed after the All-Star game of last year. But it's I don't know what the answer is. I really don't. I've been scratching my head and trying to find something that makes sense, but it's really just at this point, I gotta point the finger at coaching, and I hate to do that because it's just so easy to do that. And Tockett's a great guy and a great coach, and he does some great things with this team. But when it comes to firing the team up and getting them to push back and getting that big shift, he just doesn't know how to get it out of these guys.
Have we seen Tocchet call a timeout to calm his team down? I don't think we've seen him do it the entire season, right?
Nope. Nope. The only timeouts we've seen him call are when we have the goalie pulled and we're trying to get back into the game in the last couple minutes. And that's something that that's what I mean about, like, when do we kind of start to look at coaching as the issue? We can't get the rose-colored glasses because of the Jack Adams Trophy. Lots of coaches win that award and get fired the next year. I'm sure there's a big list of it. There's just something about what's happening with this team and the lack of fire and the lack of give a shit about that. Like when after the games, they like when they lose, they just don't feel like anyone is getting frustrated or upset about this floundering type of play, and that worries me.
You literally have the perfect opportunity to take matters into your own hands. The little rat Brad Marchand cross checks Quinn Hughes, and then it just turns into a scuffle. There's no fight, it just turns into a scuffle. That is the perfect opportunity for someone to drop the gloves and try and make his nose a little smaller than it is, but instead it just turns into like a little slapping fest, right? Is there
Yeah.
is that aspect missing from the Canucks for someone who's going to step up and try and turn the tide with a good fight?
100%. It's a 4-0 game at that point. I don't care who's on the ice. Grab somebody and just start chucking. It doesn't matter. You got to do something to get your team going. And there's just like one guy, right? Like Miller goes in to jump in for Quinn. And it's like, come on, guys. Where's the emotion? Where's the fight? Where's the like desire to play for the logo that's on the front of your jersey? I just don't feel it from this team. And I haven't felt it all year really at home. It's been so frustrating to watch them at home. And yeah, I I usually have words to say, but I'm at a complete loss for words because it just doesn't make sense. From what we saw last year from this team to now, it doesn't make sense to me.
Well, and a positive note, the three stars of the game were Max Sasson, Thatcher Demko, and Elias Pettersson. No, I'm lying. The Canucks didn't get a single star. And this is the concerning part too. And we've talked about this over the last couple games. Pasternak, number one star of the game, 4 points. Zacha, 3 points, second star. Geeky, 2 points, right? And from a guy like Pasta, we're starting to see a trend now of these elite players are coming in and having their way with the Canucks. Do the Canucks have a problem defending against the top talent in the NHL?
They absolutely do. And that's where you miss Hronik and you miss Forbort being out there. We saw full well why Brandstrom has been sitting out the last couple games with some of his defensive play tonight, which was very poor. He was directly responsible for a couple of blown coverages on 2 or 3 of the goals for sure. Definitely 2 of the goals. So it's alarming. We need help on defense, and we need it fast because our ability to generate offense from our blue line is not good. And when we have guys that don't have that talent try to make plays that they aren't equipped to make, we make our mistakes get compounded and we get filled in by talented teams.
There were 2 players on the Vancouver Canucks, Nate, that were +1. Who do you think they were?
I don't know. Miller and Hughes.
Juleson. Hughes was even at least, but you got Brandstrom as a -2 and Friedman was a -3, which is not great. And then on the forward ranks, like you're looking at Pettersson -2, Teddy Bluger -2, Jake DeBrusk -2. So another game where Pettersson and DeBrusk are both a -2. And it's just not good enough because that's one thing we always talk about with Pettersson. When he's not scoring, he's still good defensively. And even tonight, I was nervous as soon as that line got hemmed in their own zone. I'm like, oh, here we go.
Yeah, we played very poor 5 or even strength hockey today because there was some 4-on-4 play that was not very good tonight either.
Okay, let's pray that the Canucks are all sick. They all have the flu. They're all throwing up in buckets right now. That's why they have brain fog. What about the Abbotsford Canucks?
The Abbotsford Canucks with a glorious 3-0 victory over the Manitoba Moose this evening.
Good news.
We had just another wonderful team game. Very solid defense. Only allowed 15 shots to get through on Tolopilo. He stopped all 15 of them. Linus Karlsson with 2 more goals today to add to his goal total. Just hit the ground running coming back from injury a couple games ago. He's now up to 5 on the season. Niels Oman with 2 assists again, adding to his point total. I think he's now up to a point per game pace with all the assists he's been getting lately. So yeah, we had 3 stars there were Linus Karlsson, Jet Wu, and Tolo Pilo. So our baby Canucks swept the 3 stars tonight in their game, making up for the Bruins sweep for the big boys.
Can I ask, do you know who backed up? Because I know obviously with Shelov's getting called up the last minute, did they have to bring in like an emergency backup, or is Ty Young still kicking around back there?
No, Ty Young had been sent to Kalamazoo, which is a little harder to get out of than Abbotsford. So Jonathan Lemieux was backing up Nikita Tolopilo today, and I imagine he was probably a local university goaltender or a junior player somewhere, an e-bug situation there. So he, I'll have to look into who Jonathan Lemieux is a little further, but yeah, definitely probably not someone we wanted to see much ice time
Right.
today.
But that's, I mean, then too, right? Keeping the Manitoba Moose to only 15 shots. Clearly, the Canucks were doing a really good job of keeping them off the scoreboard, because 15 shots. I mean, like, what kind of team only gets 15 shots in the game? They have to be crap to only get 15 shots in the game, right?
Right?
So at
Who
least
only gets 4 shots a period twice in a game?
yeah. I mean, the Bruins only had 4 shots in the third period, right?
Yeah, but when you're up 5-1 or 5 buzz, you really don't got to be pressing the gas pedal much.
Oh. So we got the Colorado Avalanche coming into town on Monday, 7:30 game. What are we expecting from that juggernaut?
I believe they had a victory tonight. I would expect that if we play like we did tonight, it's not going to be very fun.
And I just, for some reason, I feel like Blackwood, their newest addition from San Jose, is probably going to get the start, because historically, for whatever reason, Blackwood has always played well against the Canucks. Yeah, so Avs did win tonight 5-2 against the Predators. But yeah, Blackwood has been kind of one of those. It's weird. It's one of those Canucks logic things that we've talked about, where like this weird backup goalie always just randomly plays really well against the Canucks, and Blackwood's one of those. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him get the start.
Yeah. And to be fair, Blackwood has had quite a start to the season on a very poor team. To have a 913 save percentage coming off of that San Jose Sharks team, that's quite impressive. So, not a slouch by any means. Just was kind of stuck in net for a rebuilding team, and now that he's got some solid defense in front of him, Colorado could be trouble going forward here.
So I've already blacked out the entire game tonight. So let's just move on
What,
from
there was a
it.
game tonight? I must have missed it.
Well, Dustin, thank you very much for the post-mortem today, and we'll talk to you again on Monday against Colorado.
Absolutely. Take care of yourself and enjoy your Sunday.
Nothing is perfect.